Antique America is sponsored by Preparation R Totables, now in discreet, TSA-approved, travel-size fun packs, and by the generous support of viewers like you. Today, Antique America pulls into the southern plains town of Lubbock, Texas. Recently, Lubbock was put on the map for opening the new American Center for Wind Power that was destroyed months later by a tornado. Known by the locals as the Hub City, we arrived in Lubbock to see what all the hubbub was about.
Good morning and welcome back
Good afternoon, afternoon.
Antique America, live from Lubbock, Texas. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Lucy Montgomery, who has brought with her a unique family heirloom. Tell us, Mrs. Montgomery, about your grandfather's textbook.
Now, this is my great-grandfather's textbook that he carried with him to school every day, in the snow, uphill both ways.
You realize that that's impossible, right?
Yes, it was a joke, you know, something he would say.
The Nations at War, A Current History by Willis J. Abbott.
A butt. It's pronounced a butt. I know the family.
Well, what can you tell us about how your grandfather used this textbook?
Well, he acquired it around the age of 8. I believe it was the 3rd grade.
Well, it appears a bit difficult for someone in the 3rd grade.
You know, my great-grandfather was the first to go to an Ivy League school. And then my grandfather, then my father, and then finally my brother.
Well, obviously you didn't.
Where are you from? The way you speak. It's intriguing.
Well, you know, that's really neither here nor there. We're here to talk about your book, which,
I'm just interested,
is in very good condition.
That's quite true. I keep it in a climate-controlled room. It's been that way for 30 years. You know, that reminds me. Could you put on some gloves? Thanks.
What?
The oils from your fingers. You know, we don't want that building up on the cover of the pages. Any professional would know that. The best type of glove, of course, is a 100% cotton, bleached, white glove. Would be perfect.
No.
Take your time. Troubles? I can help.
No.
All right, I'll take over. Now, you know, what makes this a brilliant artifact is, besides the amazing quality, is that inside, if you carefully look through the pages, you'll find many charts, graphs, maps, pictures, and the ink is all in excellent quality with minor amounts of fading. It really is a brilliant piece.
You wouldn't expect to see fading on a book printed after 1900. And this book ain't that old, honey. Oh, and you might want some gloves too, then.
Oh, why, thank you. That is very professional. Finally.
Indeed.
I was
am
waiting for it.
That is true. I am.
I've got it.
Well, let me ask you a question,
Yes.
Mrs. Montgomery. Do you oil the leather binding of your antique book?
Oh, yes, every year on my birthday. It's a concoction of lanolin oil and neat's food oil, and we apply it with the wool of a new spring lamb.
Of course. Well, you know, in modern times, it's common practice not to oil the bindings of leather antique books.
Well, you know, it obviously hasn't been hurting since it's in such amazing quality, and we take excellent care of our family heirlooms.
Well, I would just hate for your family heirloom to be destroyed because of your over-maintenance.
Over-maintenance barely. As you can see, it has kept its shape perfectly throughout the years. It's nearly 100 years old, and look at this perfection. The leather is soft as a baby's buttocks. This artifact, it is in excellent quality, and I would estimate that the price of this book to be... The price to be...
This is my show, and I will assign the value, as I am the expert.
So am I. $200. $200. Antique America.
This is my show, and you know what? On second thought, I think I may have overestimated the value.
What do you mean? It's in
Because,
perfect
you know,
condition.
after all, a page is missing.
my God! What have you done? What is this? You heathen, you criminal! Do you not see what you're doing? It's like you're killing a child.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that! Oh, and don't tell me you're an expert from England. You have an accent like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. Come on, what kind of England are you in? Give me my child. Gonna have to start the oiling a little early this year. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. $200. Fine.